Grandmama used to pray, oh Lord, please save them from the evil snares and all the dangers that entangle. Yea, though they walking through the valley of the shadows, just prepare and make them fit for every battle, because I know they bound to come, and I know they bound to fall, but in your bounty, Lord, preserve their beautiful. Right, we still survive and offer grandma's prayers, surrounded by the jungle and the lion's den. Tread light, cause these traps is inconspicuous. They hide right in plain sight, thinking we don't see them when they linger. Look right beneath the surface, then leave a trail of corpses. Crisis, prices, your life a disposable commodity, like living in a fantasy, conditioned to believe that the system even cares whether selling CDs or walking or driving or reading. Look, they don't even need a reason, it's just you breathing and being black. When it's such a pretty fall, it don't seem like we falling at all, at all. It's just a GMO dream, where things are never really what they seem. Please cue the violins, tell them just to play me something pretty, cause this gritty city got me screaming bloody murder. Said it got me screaming. This gritty city got me on some. Look, get your hand up on my pocket. Distraction, so lazy they use the same tactics, like condom with some trinkets. Just don't let them get to thinking. That light bulb gets a blinking. You know niggas and ideas. Oh dear, my dear, you may not know me, but I know you very well. Foresight, they say hindsight is 2020. Well, tell me something, we gotta see that history is on repeat, and maybe it takes a beat and a melody to speak a little louder than the message in the clouds or the essence in the air. I swear, my God is just so clear that a system driven by fear can never give us nothing but more of the same things. Oh, when it's such a pretty fall, it don't seem like we falling at all. It's just a GMO dream, where things are never really what they seem. Please cue the violins, tell them just to play me something pretty, cause this gritty city got me screaming. It's murder. Got me screaming, got me. This gritty city got me on song.
What's happening, good people? We are live and direct. Yes, Black Power Media. This is RSTV. We feeling great. I know everybody's great. I know we're gonna have a great show, because that's what we do around these parts. If it's your first time on this new platform, when I say new platform, new YouTube channel, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. We're at about 48,300 subscribers right now. We're looking for more. We will hit the 50K mark, I'm sure, soon. We need about probably about 7 more before we 1,700 more before we're hitting 50,000 subscriptions on this. We appreciate you all for riding with us. It's been a rough road. I know y'all know it's a rough road, but it's okay though. We rumbling. We're gonna keep on rumbling. Today is a very, 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 very special day. And if you know me, and if you know our organization, the FTP movement, and if you know Black Power Media, we always want to keep the commemorations in order. We want to keep the honors. We want to keep the victories, and we also want to commemorate. Remember our fallen soldiers. On this day, 39 years ago today, May 13th, 1985, many of us remember this dreadful day, the day that 6 adults, 5 children were bombed by the city of Philadelphia. An incendiary device was dropped on top of a house on Osage Avenue, murdering John Africa, Rhonda Africa, Teresa Africa, Frank Africa, Conrad Africa, Alicia Africa, Netta Africa, Lil Phil Africa, Thomaso Africa, Raymond Africa, and Tree Africa. We remember these fallen men, women, and children. We remember the animals that were murdered. We remember all of the life that was taken by the state. And this, we're not talking about, too far ago, too long ago. We're talking about 39 years ago. 39 years ago. It's hard to believe. I remember seeing all this on the news. As we do every year, every single year, of course, shout out to the Move family. Shout out to all the folks who have been part of Move, past and present, all the freedom fighters. Shout out to the Move 9. Shout out to our brother Mumia Abu Jamal, who, as I cannot stop mentioning, met with him, had the opportunity to sit with him for 4.5 hours 3 weeks ago, going on 3 weeks ago, and it was a blessing. So today, I wanted to call one of my comrades. Sometimes when I'm in Philly, he doubles as my stunt double. You understand what I'm saying? He's been a long time comrade, and he's literally about that life. He's a brother that was born in prison. You understand what I'm saying? What y'all know about that? It's not an accolade, it's not a shout out, but when we talk about these bars and whatnot, he came out the gate with it. So I want to welcome you all first and foremost to RSTV, to Black Power Media, and I want to bring on my comrade, my longtime comrade and brother, Mike Africa Jr. What's happening, Mike? How you feeling, brother?
Feeling great. Feeling great. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to hang out with you for a little while. Stunt double.
Hey, man, you know what we do around here, man. Don't get cute now that I ain't in Philly no more. Hey, yo, to the audience, I'm in Philadelphia a few weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? You know, folks smiling and everything. And I'm like, okay, they love Kalonji out here. Then the sister came up to me. She said, "Oh, I just love your work." I said, "Oh, yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you." She said, she told her friend, she said, "This is Mike Africa Jr." I'm like, wow, that's how I'm going out now. I gotta be Mike stunt double and whatnot. Mike about 4-5 feet taller than me, but it's all good. Good to see you though, brother. How's everything running with you, man?
It's always good to see you, bro. Always good to hear your voice. Always good to see the work you're doing. I see the channel growing and I'm inspired by it. And I just, it's really what I'm saying? Like, it's really appreciative to see, like, people tell me stay in it. I'm glad you still doing it. And that's how I feel with you right now. Like, I mean, I know you've been doing it for a long time since we were younger, right? And to see it growing, to see it moving, and to see you in Philadelphia was special, because there was so many people there that, we talk to each other, we see each other, we be around each other, we talk about each other to each other. It's all in the same room at the same time. It's a rare thing. So it was really special. And I'm happy to be here right now with you.
Bro, that was classic. I'm gonna just say that. It was classic. I mean, and we're not even talking about the rally. We're not even talking about the piece at the venue. We're talking about, it wasn't even the after party. It was an after revolution. You know what I'm saying? Just some of the folks that was there, man. I was talking to our brother, Chairman Fred Jr., shout out to him, a couple days afterwards, and we both we was like high off of that supply. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it was really, it was like nothing but, I don't even want to say royalty, but I would say movement royalty. It was the workers. It was the folks who came from our generation. And of course, we had a couple OGs. Well, I guess we all OGs, but we had some double OGs up in there, triple OGs up in there, and it was a beautiful thing, man. So really definitely appreciate the hospitality, man. I was gonna hit you with that stunt double joint. That's how we do it around here. May 13th, 1985. What does it mean to Mike Africa Jr.? And for folks, before we even go there, because I did a disservice. I did mention you was born behind bars, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So introduce yourself properly if you don't mind. I already know you, so I just be like, that's my brother.
Right. My name is Mike Africa Jr. I am the legacy director for the MOVE organization. I am the son of two former political prisoners, Mike and Debbie Africa, who were part of the MOVE 9, who spent 40 years in prison for a crime they did not commit. And I am an activist, a revolutionary, a mover and a shaker of revolutionary activities in the city of Philadelphia and around the country. Mumia supporter. And that's me.
Yeah. And also, before we even go any further, you produced or directed a film on your parents. So let's give us tell them what that film is and how they can check it out before we even go any further.
So in 2017, a film producer named Tommy Oliver came to talk about creating a film about Move. And once he started learning more about my story, he decided to change the direction that he intended to go, to follow my life and my journey and my work to free my parents. And it was kind of like catching lightning in a bottle, because when we started working on the film, it was 2017, and the film was probably good on its own, just telling the story, the history of Move. But during the filming of it, my mother was granted parole. So that added an element to the documentary that made it palatable. People love happy endings. So for us to be fighting for my parents and for all of those years, and then they get out during the making of a film about their imprisonment, we couldn't have scripted it any better. And then when the filming was getting complete, 4 months later, my father came home. So we got both of their releases from prison on film. The name of the documentary is called 40 Years a Prisoner. It is directed by Tommy Oliver, produced by Tommy Oliver, and executive produced by Common, Questlove, Black Thought, John Legend, and a couple of other heavy hitters that saw the vision early on. And you can get it if you want to check it out. I urge you to just check it out. When you watch it, I would definitely suggest bringing a box of tissues with you, because it's a tearjerker.
It definitely is.
It's a tearjerker. I can't watch it with, I was in it. I know what it is. I don't even watch it anymore. But I think people will really learn a lot from it. And you can watch it on HBO Max. 40 Years a Prisoner is the name of it.
No doubt. So 40 Years a Prisoner. We can't talk about the film. We can't talk about your parents and we can't even talk about May 13th, 1985 without taking it back to August of 78.
Yeah.
August 8th, August 7th, 78. August 8th, 78.
Right.
Okay. Let's talk about August 8th, 78. And for folks who are unfamiliar, because of course, a lot of people get the state narrative of who Move is. And to me, when you talk about Black vegans, they're like the first. Move was the first. They the OGs of Black veganism before it was popular. But anyway, give us an introduction as to who Move was, is, and what happened on August 8th, 1978. Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say Move was the first. I don't know when the word vegan was invented.
Right.
I know when I heard it, I was like, people was talking about this new phenomenon. We've been doing this for 25 years. I don't even know how it's new. How is it new? I mean, it ain't new to me. You know what I mean? John Africa was the founder of the organization. And he started the organization with a simple mission: protect life. And when you protecting life, it takes you places. Just having that belief system takes you places. The reason John Africa started the organization is because he saw the mistreatment of life by the system. He saw people getting locked up for no reason, getting beat up by the police for no reason. He saw people getting unjust prison sentences for crimes that they didn't commit, or crimes that politicians were committing and getting no punishment for. So he wanted to do something about it. no different than the Black Panther Party or Martin Luther King or any other person who had enough feelings to like want to fight against injustice. But because his stance and his position and his commitment to what he believed in was so deep and strong, he was attacked just like those other people. But man, they attacked Move in a way like they had never attacked anyone before in this country. We saw what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma, with the Black Wall Street. We saw what happened to the Branch Davidians in Waco, Texas. But what happened to Move was there were some differences. But the similarities were Move wanted to fight against injustice. They wanted some changes made in society. They wanted animals to be free from zoos. They wanted the air to be clean instead of polluted. They wanted people to be healthy instead of weak. They wanted the water to be pure instead of filled with chemicals. And the system protecting the industry that is making them money every day wanted to continue to do business. So rather than, recognize and respect that Move is right and what Move is saying, and that life is a need for all, and that water is a need for all, and that air is a need for all. They, rather than respect that, they decided to fight Move. They decided to attack Move people. They used the news media, weaponized the news media to lie about what Move is really about. And when you have the opinion of the people against you because of some stories that are being told in the news, is really, you're fighting an uphill battle. And that's exactly what Move was doing, fighting an uphill battle. One police beating or arrest led to another, and Move got to the point where they were no longer willing to accept fighting or abuse from police. So they said, if you attack Move, we're going to attack you back. We're going to defend ourselves. And May 20th, 1977, Move told the police, you come at us with guns, we'll come at you, we'll match you with guns.
Right. So that takes place. Police show up.
Police show up. They attack Move house. They put people in jail. They had the standoff is a year-long standoff. That the police, the Move members got the guns, and they standing on their platform, and the police got their weapons. It's a standoff. Nobody's making a move. But on August 8th, 1978, the police decided to make a move, led by a very racist, very militaristic-minded police commission, or by then I guess he was the mayor, Frank Rizzo. They attacked Move house, and during the attack, there was some shooting. Police were shooting hundreds of rounds of ammunition at Move. During the shooting, a police officer was shot and killed, and of course, Move got the blame. 30 to 100 years sentences 9 Move members received for that blame. 1 cop dead, 1 bullet in that cop's neck, and 9 Move members are forced to serve 30-year minimums, 100-year maximums. That sentence was inappropriate, to say the least. It was such a railroading. It was such an injustice. And Move members that were still free began to protest about it. They protested every day. They protested morning, noon, and night. They protested in the city, at City Hall. They protested on the neighborhood they lived in. They protested about it every day. And the city's response to their protest, even though the city admitted that they didn't know who killed the cop, even though the judge that sentenced Move members said that he didn't know who killed the cop, they still continued to keep Move in prison. And Move's protests escalated to the point where the city felt like they needed to do something about the continued protest. And their answer was to fly a helicopter over our house, drop a bomb on our house. When they did that, they killed 11 people.
For the listeners, because we don't want to, and there's been so many things in between, including Mumia, right? For his journalist work, on Move, for his journalism. But you're talking about two heavy duty moments, not only in Philadelphia history, but in I would say world history, because you're talking about a bomb being dropped on a house, killing men, women, and children, animals, etc. I talked to Ramona Africa one time. She was in Atlanta, one of the only adult survivor, and the child survivor was Birdie Africa, right? So she talked about how when they were trying to escape the house while the house was burning, that the police were firing on them to get them to go back in the house. She talked about the police actually shooting. You're already burning the house is already burning, and you're shooting at the surviving victims to try to force them back into the home. Not only did 11 people lose their lives on that day, what happened to the neighborhood?
Well, the bomb the bomb ignited a fire. And the fire was so hot that it began to really spread. And it even leapfrogged across the street and caught on to some of the houses across the street. 61 homes were burned to the ground. When the fire 61 homes were burned to the ground. When the fire first started, there was a decision whether they were going to put the fire out or not. And they decided to let the fire burn. The police commissioner and the fire commissioner said, let the fire burn. And they did. Wow. And 61 homes were burned to the ground. 250 residents were homeless in one day.
On one street, one block.
3 blocks.
3 blocks. Wow. And they just said, let the fire burn. Let the
fire burn.
And none of them were arrested.
And as the fire was burning, we have news footage where you could hear the police officers in other houses laughing at the fire, saying that's the last time Move members will call the police commissioner a motherfucker.
That wasn't true. We know that was true. Shout out to Pam Africa. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, I've been hearing this story for over 3 decades, almost 4 decades, right? I've made it my business even before, I even met members of Move. I've made it my business to, as an organizer, as a freedom fighter, as a youngster, to make sure that we commemorated these dates, particularly May 13th, 1985. It's been etched in my head since. You understand? So who gave the order? Because you're talking about dropping a bomb in the neighborhood. This isn't, you mentioned Branch Dravidian, that was a compound. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of these other places or whatever, they say, okay, these are compounds and there's a coat there and we need to, weed them out, so on and so forth. But this is in the middle of Philadelphia on Osage Avenue. Who would give such an order? What kind of devil would give such an order to drop a bomb from a helicopter? Where did the helicopter come from? I'm sorry, go ahead.
The mayor of the city at the time was Wilson Good. He was a black mayor. The first Philadelphia's first black mayor. And the police were handpicked Frank Rizzo police officers that Wilson Good kept. And they were the most of them were police officers that from the Frank Rizzo era. And the idea for the bomb, I'm not sure where that came from. But I do know that the police commissioner, Gregor Sambor, was a two-war veteran. He served in Korea and he served in Vietnam. And he was the police commissioner that made the suggestion to the fire chief to let the fire burn. He was the police commissioner that gave the order. But I think it's important for people to understand that the idea for the bomb, the practicing of the bomb was something that was already being worked out long before the bomb was actually dropped. Up to at least a year before the bombing, they were practicing, they were building model homes of our house and practicing blowing it up to see how things would go. It was a year before they dropped it. So, it was a calculated plan to drop that bomb with C4 plastic explosives. It was a calculated,
premeditated. Yeah, premeditated.
Absolutely premeditated.
Yes. So what you're saying, because again, you would think like, damn, all of that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, how could that happen? The first black mayor of Philly. Where's the brotherly love? This is the city of brotherly love, right? I mean, like,
what they say.
He ain't supposed to get no blacker than that except for Atlanta. We already know this is a project here, so that's a whole nother thing. But the question, to make matters worse, what happened to the bodies? Because they blew up, and I know some people are like, what kind of question is that? What happened to the bodies of the victims, the children who were in that location on Osage Avenue?
Well, 11 people were killed, 5 were children. The University of Pennsylvania was part of a team for the medical examiner's office of Philadelphia to process the bodies. And members of the University of Pennsylvania, specifically Alan Mann and Janet Monge, stole some of the body parts from at least 3 moved children: Delisha, Tree, and Netta, Africa. And we didn't discover this information until sometime in April of 2021, 38 years after the bombing. And that's an ongoing thing right there, because the University of Pennsylvania, this Ivy League school that, prides himself on having so much class and prestige and all of this, they're responsible for not only stealing the remains of moved people, but they have a collection, an African-American cranial collection, where it's called the Morton Collection, I believe. They stole the crania, the skulls of thousands. And we're dealing with that right now. It's not finalized. They're right now in the process of trying to, I guess I would say, figure out a way to take as little damage as possible from this harm that they've caused in re-injuring the community of the people that they stole the bodies of.
Right. I want you to, because again, some of these folks is checking this out. They might think we on some conspiracy theories over here, and Kalonji now came in with a stunt double today. They both were smoking together. They tripping. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? I mean,
Google it.
Yeah, man. But I mean, No law enforcement has ever been arrested for the August 8th incident, the 1978 incident. No law enforcement, fire department, or any of the folks involved in the May 13th, 1985 bombing has ever been arrested to my knowledge. And now the University of Pennsylvania, who are basically grave robbers. No charges have been brought up on any of these folks. Is that correct, or am I?
That is correct.
You're saying thousands of craniums of black people is what you're telling me exists inside of this particular university. They have this in their possession along with these 3 children from this move bombing. What has been, we you know, we're not hearing anything on the news. We got a slight hint when it happened, but mainly all information we've ever gotten was from, you know, folks like you and Pam and others. What's the current status, and what did they say, and how was it discovered? Because that's very important, because I know that, you know, no one just, you know, happened upon it. I mean, like, how was it discovered?
A student that went to Penn was part of the research, or she was maybe doing a dissertation or something on the remains. Listen, Janet Monge was I think she was some kind of professor. I don't know. She had some kind of title. She was the person who got the remains. It's crazy. It's crazy. Listen, Princeton was involved. It's crazy. They were passing the remains of around like they were hot potato. Like, just, you know, you take them for a while. Princeton used the remains of those children's bones and taught them to over 5,000 students about the bones, and they did studies and all of this stuff. It's crazy. It's a whole crazy situation. You know, it's hard to talk about.
Right. No. Yeah. And of course, I'm not trying to press you. You know what I'm saying? It's just the insanity of it. You know, I think that the thing is, oftentimes, you know, one of the things I was speaking to some comrades a few days ago, and I said some of the most damaged people that exist are in the movement. It's a lot of broken folks. It's a lot of people who have gone through things. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of what the fight is, because they understand, or we understand firsthand, in the mortal words of our sister Pam, Mama Pam, what these motherfuckers will do to you. We understand it. We are clear. It's not a mystery. It's not a myth. We don't need Alex Jones or anybody else to come along and come with no extra flavor onto it. This is what they do. This is what's happening right now. You're talking about 2021 when these remains were uncovered. What for the people, like, is anything that you know, the average, you know, person checking this out, is there anything that they can do? Is there a phone call they can make? Is there a letter they can write? I mean, what's up?
Well, right now, what we're doing is we're waiting to. Penn has sworn that they're going to, you know, they can't right the wrong. They recognize that they can't undo what's been done, but they want to make amends. They want to try to make amends. So Chris Woods is the director of the museum, and he's a new director. He wasn't there when all of these things happened, but he has given us his word that he's going to try to make it right, and he's going to do what he can do so that we can, you know, work together to find a way to rectify the situation as best as possible. So we're supposed to have a meeting on May the 23rd. We'll see how that goes. If it doesn't go well, you'll hear about it. And we will be calling on everyone that supports justice for children and us and the MOVE organization's family and all of that, to bring pressure on them and the likes that they've never seen.
If there's any updates that you can talk about, just go ahead and hit me up, and we'll be live and direct. If we need to do it right after you walk out, whatever the case is, you know, whatever we can put together prior, just in case his word is toilet paper.
Yeah.
Then we'll deal with it accordingly.
Okay.
You've been working out before you got on the joint. You tried to shame me, talking about how you've been running and whatnot.
Really?
It's Cat Mike foul,
Shame.
boy. Foul. Yeah, you trying to shame me. I'm about to get back out there though. You know what I mean? So tell us about this run you've been doing and whatnot, man, and why Kalonji over here, he got to put down certain foods and whatnot now. Cause my stunt double, we ain't gonna be looking alike. I'm gonna be
like,
as tall as you are, as wide as I'll be. But go ahead, let's go.
So today is the anniversary of the bombing, as you mentioned earlier.
No doubt.
And I have an opportunity to reach people with, I guess, the importance of health. Health is important. I believe the most revolutionary thing you can do is be healthy. You know what I mean? Be healthy. Be healthy and protect women, especially Black women. Malcolm taught us the most disrespected person in America is a Black woman.
Right on.
We need to treat our women better. The most revolutionary thing you can do is be healthy. And one of the things that I decided to do was run. See, when I was a kid, we used to play together, right? Me and the Move kids at Osage Avenue, we used to run around and play. And so like running makes me feel connected to them. So I decided that I was going to run, and I chose 13 miles because it was 13 people that was bombed, and it happened on May 13th. So today, since today is May 13th, this was the kickoff of the 13 run challenge, where I'm running 13 miles for 13 months. So today I ran 13 miles. Well, Google lied to me. It was more than 13 miles. But next month, I'm also going to run 13 miles. See, here's the thing. When we are in these protests, we're marching down the streets and we're saying things like, say their names, right? We're saying Sandra Bland, and we're saying Tamir Rice, and we're saying, Aiyana Jones. And we hear these names, but in large part, these are faceless victims, because most of the people that's been hearing about these people that are protesting for these people, they probably can't pick Aiyana Jones' face out of a lineup.
That's right.
And I think it's important for us to remember the people beyond their name. So the reason I'm running in Kansas for Raymond is because Raymond, Africa, was a jazz enthusiast. He could professionally play multiple instruments. He loved Charlie Parker. So I want people to know that about him. I want people to, when they see his face, I want them to imagine him with a guitar in his hand. Imagine him with a tuba. Imagine him with the piano. When our artists draw pictures of our people, draw them with a guitar, draw them with a flute, because Raymond was a jazz enthusiast. So the run that I do for Raymond is going to be in Kansas City, the birthplace of Charlie Parker. And I'm connecting with the Charlie Parker Museum and statue, creator of the statue, so that they can understand this history as well. And the tree loved to climb trees. So the run that I do for her will be in California, where the tallest trees in the world are. The run that I do for Conrad will be in Louisville, Kentucky, where Muhammad Ali's from, because Conrad loved to box and he loved Muhammad Ali. So I want to make it where people can see beyond just beyond the name. They can visualize these people. And the most important thing about this visualization is making the connection that these were people.
That's
They
right.
didn't drop a bomb on a faceless victim, a faceless person, or a person that didn't have a life, right? These people had lives. They had desires. They had interests. They had plans. They had dreams. and and they're gone too soon. So people need to know. For me, I would like for people to know more about their life.
I'm glad that you're pointing it out. When you talk about faceless victims, I talk about that all the time. I've never referred to them as faceless victims, but of course, it's all the same thing. It's always, I think that our people, because we've been uh, tortured and tormented and terrorized for so long, there's a sort of like a process of uh, desensitization. You understand? It's like we are desensitized. I hear these folks, and of course, being on these streets, organizing for decades. Sometimes I must be honest, the whole say their name thing, it almost sounds like entertainment. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like, okay, cool. It's something to say, but a lot of times the emotion is not there because of the fact that, again, I guess what you just said, it's a faceless victim. It's like you don't know this person, so it's different. It hit different. Like you said, these runs that you're making, this is family. These are people that you know. So it's not just,
Right.
someone that just, he just said somebody's name and that's just it. No, it's not say his name. This is my family.
Yeah, it's very different. If you're driving down the street and you see a rat that was run over by a car, how many people do you think will slow down or stop and get out and check on it?
Right.
How many people do you think would scrape it up with a shovel and put it in the grassy, wooded area so that it could have a final resting place that it would probably like? How many people do you think would swerve so they don't run it over again? When these racist people kill Tamir Rice and Ayanna Jones and Sandra Bland and so many others, the same way most people look at a dead rat in the street is the same way that those racist people look at Sandra Bland in the cell.
Okay.
And it's the same way that, they don't blame each other. The white racists, they don't blame each other for killing Tamir Rice. They blame Tamir. They don't care that even if they felt like the police were wrong, it's just a dead rat. Who cares? So I guess the point I'm trying to make is, if it's your family, you see it differently. If it's your people,
Hit different.
differently, because the white racist that killed Sandra Bland will be the same person that raised the Capitol on January 6th, trying to fight for something that they think is protective of themselves. It's and it's a real messed up situation because the white people that have this hate are the ones that are in power. Look at Joe Biden. You can best believe that every 2,000-pound bomb that Joe Biden sends finances for or sends to Europe to invade anywhere, they won't be invading his place.
That's right.
They won't be hovering over the home of someone he cared about or in the neighborhood where his family is in the vicinity. It's the people that are suffering this are the people that they care nothing about. They see them as vermin.
Hearing it put that way, of course, we already know it's factual. And while you were while you was talking, I wasn't even thinking about the white racists. I'm thinking about George Floyd. I'm thinking about Eric Garner. So not only do you have the quote unquote white racists, but you have the colonizer sympathizers who stand by, and instead of doing something to get these white racists off, get the knee out of the neck or the chokehold off of them, they'll sit there with a camera. And unfortunately, we live in such a cowardice society that the person with the cell phone has become the hero.
Yeah.
And in many cases, it's just a viral moment.
You know, I'm not sure what I would do in a situation where I saw police kneeling on the neck of a person and there are other police officers standing around watching it, protecting the cop that's kneeling on his neck. I hope to think that I wouldn't be just a bystander. But just thinking about what the person that's holding the camera might be thinking, they might be thinking that they might be thinking that they don't want a knee on their neck.
Yeah.
You know, it's a really messed up situation because the camera becomes your only defense for those people in their minds. But you know, on our run today, I saw two men chasing a woman, and they caught her. And she was screaming, and she was yelling, and instinctually, I started investigating. And I was so happy and relieved that they were just playing. But there's something inside of me that just forces me to just get involved in things.
Of course.
I just, you know.
That's why you my stunt double, Mike. You couldn't be my stunt double if you weren't getting involved.
You have to be careful, though, because just as
doubt.
George Floyd got a knee on his neck, you get one on yours.
Yeah,
but I guess for me, living with a knee on my neck or dying with a knee on my neck is something that I'd probably be willing to accept more than living with the guilt of not pushing that cop off of that man.
That's what I'm talking about. So to your point, and I want to, for the viewers,
but everybody's not me.
Right. No. So to your point, for the viewers, me saying that the person with the camera becomes the hero. Bunchy Carter said, if you can't do nothing but spit, then spit. You understand what I'm saying? So my position on it is, yes, while we would much rather, like you said, push the cop off of get his knee off the neck. It's a sad day on the planet when the bravest thing you could do is pick up a camera.
Yeah, I mean, those cops should have to empty every bullet.
Goddamn right.
They have to empty that gun of every bullet. They should have to empty that gun of every bullet, and still not have enough bullets to stop the overwhelming defense of a man that's about to be murdered. They shouldn't have enough on them to stop the onslaught of people. And listen, if we got to deal with consequences of interrupting a police business or whatever, yeah, we're going to deal with that. But right at the moment, we're not going to let you kill this man.
Right. That's the point.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah. And to that point, you know, again, we're not advocating for folks to go out here and be Billy Badass or, you know, or you go out there and pardon my English, get fucked up thinking that and saying that Mike and Kalonji told you to go do this. That's not what we're saying. But at the same time, you know, for Mike, and I co-sign the guilt of living, watching another human, another life being taken by an aggressor. It's a strange type of way to live.
Yeah, and look, Derek Chauvin going to prison for killing George Floyd is not justice.
Oh,
it's not justice. You know, I mean that's a consequence of the people rising up to the point that they're burning down police stations. He's a scapegoat, so to speak. That's not
that fall on the sword. Right.
Look, no law has changed. No law, no activity. Nothing has changed. You know how many people were killed by police after George Floyd? Him going to jail ain't justice. That move. I was talking to a person who said the bombing of Move could never happen again. Bullshit. The things that Move were fighting against in 1977, 1972, 1970 are still issues that people are fighting today. Racism,
right.
Abuse of power, police brutality, unjust jail sentences, animal cruelty, animal abuse. There is nothing that's been solved. And all it takes is for one person or some people to feel like, you know what, we need to fight fire with fire.
Right.
John Africa thought, you know, we need to fight fire with fire. Y'all got guns, we'll get some. And if y'all, you know, and if the buildup leads to a stalemate where the city feel like they don't have a choice but to nuke I mean, it could happen again. Don't get it.
Of course.
It could happen again. Move wasn't the first, and Move won't be the last.
No. And you know, it's funny when I hear people saying that, and I hear people talking crazy shit about, slavery couldn't happen now. I guess you ain't familiar with the prison industrial complex, motherfucker. 2.3 million people locked up. It's wild to hear folks. Usually the people that say that, they're not involved in the fight anyway. You understand what I'm saying? It sounds good in theory.
You know, that's a good point. When you're involved in something, you can see clearer. You know, it's like it's like a basketball player saying, "Yeah, nobody could ever score 100 points in a game," or you standing on the sideline saying, "Yeah, that could never happen again." That happened at a time when Wilt Chamberlain was playing a bunch of plumbers and bartenders. Like that could never happen. Right. You see Kobe drop 81 in 3 quarters, and then you're like, "Oh, never mind."
Yeah.
But
who's he playing against?
Yeah, the ball player, right? The ball players know, because they're involved in that. They can see that, and if you're not active and dialed in and tapped into the heartbeat of the movement, and you really can't say because you don't know. You're a bystander. You're spectator. That's like I was in the Broad Street run. I was running and we got a 10-mile run, and the guy was standing on the sideline talking about, "Why are you running so slow? That's easy." He was standing
right
there. I was running with a man that weighs 365 pounds, and this man was running, and I was coaching him along in the run.
Right.
The guy was on the sideline. He was
instead of joining in. If he'd have joined in and showed you, it'd be different. It'd be different to be like, okay. Yeah, he Carl Lewis on the sideline. Yeah.
But that's I got to get to the Move commemoration.
I already know. You already told me. I appreciate you stopping through. You know what I'm saying? It's been a tradition. It's been annual. Get a love to the family. I'm gonna see you soon.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Keep the run up and stay on point. We winning, brother.
Love you, bro.
Keep that run. Love you too, brother. See you soon.
All right.
You're checking out RSTV. That's my brother, Mike Africa Jr. And we're happy to have him on. There is the Move commemoration today going on in Philadelphia. And, you know, of course, he had to jet out to check it out. For folks who are watching us and have been watching us, again, scrolling at the bottom, I see a lot of people watching from Twitter. Definitely shout out to all the people that's watching from Twitter. We need you to come on over to the YouTube thing too. So I appreciate you all on Twitter. Folks thinking ain't nobody watching us because they don't see us on YouTube, but that's okay. For those just checking us out on Twitter, we appreciate that. At the bottom of the screen, you can see that we are asking you to subscribe at youtube.com/@Black Power Media Reloaded. youtube.com/Black Power Media Reloaded. We have a Patreon. We have a brand new Patreon. Support to all the folks who have just joined our Patreon. I see that we have Patreons from Richard Sheffield, good sister Lillian, and Michelle. I don't have all your last names, but forgive us. We just saw those come in. We thank you all for your support. We thank you all for continuing to support our mission. I want folks to know that we are growing. We have a few different things going on. We have some films coming out. Black Power Media is transitioning into a multimedia platform. So it's not just a YouTube thing. So we have films coming out. We have a couple books that'll be dropping, one in August, one in February. We have an online publication and a number of other things that's going on. And I'm not gonna let all the cat out the bag. For the record, there will be an official launch date. We'll be dropping that soon. But in the meantime, in the interim, we didn't want you to think that there was any type of shutdown. So continue to subscribe, continue to follow us, continue to support our efforts. We have some new programming coming on. We have some bilingual programming that will be joining us. We have some folks from ASL, American Sign Language. So we wanted to get that in because of the fact that we want to make sure that we are covering everybody, covering everyone, covering everything. Follow the new Twitter, Black Power MEDI. It's like Black Power MEDI without the A. Yeah, we're grateful, very grateful. Thank you all for the support. We have a whole lot of great things that are happening while we're speaking. Shout out to the folks who want to see us stop. You know, we roll with a higher power. We're not gonna stop. This is movement. This is liberation. This is what it's about. It's not about ego. It's not about disregard or disrespect to anyone else. This is about our people's liberation movement. So again, we thank you all for your support. Stay on the right side of the barricades. Salute to all our freedom fighters. Shout out to our good brother, Veranza Bowers, who is out after 50 years in prison. 50 years he served. I've been speaking to him, and he wanted me to let you all know that he appreciates the love that you all have sent, those who have been supporting him on that journey. 50 years behind bars. He spent 20 extra years behind the wall. He maxed out 30 years ago. Excuse me, maxed out 20 years ago after 30 years. And they kept him an extra 20 years. So definitely salute to our OG and to all the freedom fighters that are continuing to fight. Again, continue to support our efforts here at Black Power Media. Subscribe to our email list, blackpowermedia.org, blackpowermedia.org. Love, appreciation, and stay on the right side. Till next time, RSTV, Black Power Media, we out.
We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you remember I said, with the last words on my lips, that I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that. You're going to have to say that I am a proletarian. I am the people.
I need that Fred Douglas bro. Motherfuckers with the muscles, no strength is in the digits. Quit spitting on the bungalow. The devil got a buzz stronger than a bumble nose. Lions and impalas and they creeping through the jungle slow. Warthog, pull him over for the tail light. Heart beating fast and he begging to the jail Christ. You know the one that brothers find in the slammer. Gotta do the running man if they ever find a hammer. Check the grammar. Kelsey ain't Frazier, sitting on the couch with his wrist near a razor. The hood could be good if we love thy neighbor, but the world is so cold, no gas in the pacer. Indiana in the temple of doom, know the slum ain't plum, it resembles a prune. Crime on the regular, look at the coons, is what they do from the treetop, silver for the spoon. No regrets, bro, we do it for the don't flex, bro, we do it for the no rest, bro, we do it for the no need to guess, bro, we do it for the no regrets, bro, we do it for the don't flex, bro, we do it for the no rest, bro, we do it for the no need to guess, bro, we do it for the
Formerly I'm Malcolm Little, but grow up into my Malcolm unknown. AP like Malcolm Middle, but figure how sun grown is more corner stores, corner pockets and blunt rolls. Get the rolling trips and you know the grip like run nose. Live from where they designated for us to be at, with designated drivers to stay behind on the G-Pack. Toss money with lost money, inspire feedback, and the light come with it, baby. You see that? See that? Be that like nobody ever was. They told us to get it forever on these forever runs. Said to never be done. The height of ambition is what you leak from, and suck all that away when you get it. Know who to keep from. I'm riding in Tommy Smith, John Carlos, but my jeans are still fit from John Favardos, and I still do mean biz as far as bars go, and my roof is still nowhere near where my car go. For real.
No regrets, bro, we do it for the don't flex, bro, we do it for the no rest, bro, we do it for the no need to guess, bro, we do it for the no regrets, bro, we do it for the don't flex, bro, we do it for the no rest, bro, we do it for the no need to guess, bro, we do it for the
I'm not the big, you got to make a distinction. The people are gonna have to